guess I'm talking.
No, I know what you're talking about. I know exactly what you're talking about because we are now live for issue 127 of the Pitch Nerds. This is the weekly show where two nerds assemble to bring you the latest in nerdy news, reviews, and occasionally pitch things and talk about rumors and how we're day by day battling the woke with the finest pair of boobies the internet has seen. I'm Cap, and with us
they're
today,
good, but they're not the finest.
I mean, hey, don't.
She's no Angie Griffin. Let's be honest here.
Joining us today is best friend, fellow nerd, and booby
No one has
connoisseur,
any idea what we're talking about.
Mr. Frosty.
It's like, yeah, I
Mr.
mean, I doubt any of our followers even know who. Google her. Angie Griffin is an interesting person. She used to do a cool show where her and her husband made up parody songs. And now I guess she's an Instagram girl. I guess, I don't know.
Oh.
She's a cosplayer. She's a cosplayer. That's her whole thing. She does cosplay.
Okay. But anyways, hi. Yeah, I see 1,000 pictures of her. Anyways, hi. My goodness gracious, we have a lot of fun stuff to talk about today. Holy crap!
Tons to get to.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I think we should just dive right in.
Yes.
And then we'll finish up the show and we'll circle back to what we were talking about.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's jump into news. This just in. Actually, this isn't just in. It's been out for a while, but I just thought I'd remind everybody. Robo Moon Part 2 out April 19th. I know it's your pick, but you just want to make that this week's Behold Nerd so we can talk about it next week.
Sure.
All right. So we will be watching it this week, and then we'll give you guys a review the following week, and then we could talk about how much we didn't like it, and then when the R-rated version comes out, we'll be like, oh yeah, this was much better.
Right.
It's fun. just enjoy it.
It's that one episode
you're grumbling about watching like guys leaping through the air on giant
slow mo that devolves into super slow mo. Like it's
but
like
that was still a dope shot. That even that where they did the slow.
But maybe shave off 40% of that and fill that with the rest of the movie that was omitted.
Keep that. You get rid of throwing seeds. like that's the problem.
Right.
He had the idea right.
Right.
He just so this is what it reminds me of. When you start graphic design,
everybody using Comic Sans.
No. You learn a technique.
Right.
Like for me, I learned how to make. I could take any text, any image, and with just a few like Photoshop filters and things like that, I can make you like turn into Johnny Storm. And I could do it with text. I could do it with anything. So all of a sudden, I was like fire guy. And like anytime a client hired me, I'd be like, I know fire. And then like, and the thing is, all designers do this. Because then later, like you can, and like when they first start, they always use a lot of outer glows and drop shadows and things like that.
Yeah.
And so, like I was doing, and you learn like not to do this when you become a more developed designer. Like I was working with a awning company, and they wanted everything to be gradients in their, like everything gradient this, gradient that. And I'm like, look, guys, you're a high-end company. You don't want to use gradients on everything because it'll look like I just learned how to use the gradient tool.
Right.
And to anyone with an eye. Right. And I've tried to and so you got to kind of like walk your clients around. But anyway, that's what Snyder's does with slow-mo, in my opinion.
Yeah.
He's good at it. Like, because like I said, I got to go to fire. I can make some dope fire stuff.
Right. I think I've seen some of your fire stuff.
And then I switched to ice and all this stuff. But anyway, but you then go to, but you do it all the time then, because it becomes a tool in your kit. But the problem is it's a tool that you just use again and again and again and again and again. And then it becomes, you use it too much. So that's the thing. I think he uses it well. It's just he uses it way too much. And we don't need it for Seed. But I'm looking forward to watch. Hey, look, here's the thing. You may disagree with me on this. I'm enjoying the entire what we do. I enjoy watching the entire, because I like film.
Right.
So I enjoy being able to go, okay, so there's this pop culture thing come out. We've got part 1, part 2, and then we're going to get good part 1, part 2. and I can speak about it with knowledge with you and have fun every weekend. That's why I don't mind it.
All right.
It's like recently I watched Roadhouse. I didn't just go, oh, new Roadhouse, like our friends Dan and Adrian. I went, Roadhouse original, Roadhouse sequel. That is so much better. You know what I mean? Like, you just have so much more fun. It's just like, I can see why people, because we're busy and in today's world, but I mean, it's not that much time, especially if we're spreading it out across a year.
Right. Can we just stop and point out, I love what you have done with your beard today, sir. I love the little...
Oh, thanks. Yeah, I got the little...
Fuck yeah.
What is it? It's got a valve knot in it and stuff like that. I do this when it gets long.
Yeah.
I have other ones with the bee. I bought a bunch of bees, but they're too small. This one's even a little bit too tight, but I can fit it in.
Sexy motherfucker.
Anyway, okay, so Rebel Moon Part 2, April 19th. I know some of the Snyder fans are looking forward to it. Here's the reason I want to see it. I want to see, because everyone was... Their big argument is the one that I think it's... I don't think it's a good thing. And I think it was the weakness of Masters of the Universe. But their argument is... The problem with the movie is you've got part 1 and part 2, and a lot of the stuff that we wanted in part 1 is in part 2.
Right.
I don't know if that's true because
okay, so what I have to say with that is we just had Dune Part 2. People say that, oh, Dune Part 2 is where all the action is. Yeah, but both movies are...
But they've done it backwards then.
Yeah, but both movies are good in their own right. Like the first one doesn't need the action to make it a good movie. It does a great job at building the universe and exposing us.
No, I know, but
Snyder
that's true. Snyder did it backwards. He gave us the action and then he's given us the character development. That's
right.
I guess Kill Bill kind of did that. Anyway, but he did it well. I'm sorry, Snyder fans. I do love Snyder. I really do. I like a lot of his work.
I love 300. 300 is a solid movie.
Beautiful. I mean, oh God, what is it called? Sucker Punch. That's my favorite. Okay, I just don't blow him, you know?
Right. You don't take a knee for him.
He's the greatest director ever. You know what I mean? Someone's going to put that on.
Right. Frosty's deep-throated endorsement of Mr. Snyder.
Yeah, I know, but someone's going to take this little clip of me doing that on the internet.
Oh, yeah. Make a gif out of it. Yeah.
They did that. There was that in a movie recently. John Cena's in it. And this one guy's talking about, I guess he was giving, a speech. He runs, this company. And, yeah, he just kept doing that. And he's like, oh, no. And John Cena's giving comment. He's like, oh, you're cupping the balls now. And he's like, oh, no, you got 2 of them. And he was just watching. He said, oh, God. Because he had no idea he was doing it.
So, in the previous community that I was a part of, there was a woefully ignorant human who thought they knew a lot about everything, but didn't, but was somehow talked into recording themselves in front of a green screen, doing the motions without any idea of, and that became a hilarious thing.
I got you to do it now, too, so now
no! No!
You fell into my lap. Anyway, I don't care. If you guys want to Photoshop us sucking dick, whatever.
Yeah. Give me 3, please. Yummy. Keep going back for seconds. Anyways.
Actually, I have this later on, so I'm going to skip this one.
Okay.
I didn't realize I put it in twice. I found this amusing because even though I hate talking about woke and all that kind of stuff, because I don't know, it's like a punch in the face.
That Dr. Doom meme is hilarious.
I don't mind the meme, but I just hate it that I can't. Where it's annoying me is it's kind of like if every time I took a bite of a delicious slice of pizza, someone farted in my mouth, and I'm just like, I can't eat one slice of pizza without someone farting in my mouth, and that's where I get angry. Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, can't be like,
having personally farted in your mouth several times throughout the years, I can personally attest. Yes, you do get rather violent when somebody
No,
farts in
but
your mouth.
do you get what I'm saying?
No,
Though?
I get it.
You can't enjoy anything anymore
Right.
without that kind of bullshit. It frustrates me.
Right.
But anyway, along that line, and this is why it frustrates me.
Mm.
So, did you ever watch the show Vikings?
I've heard of it, never watched it.
Okay, so I watched it, right?
Yeah.
First season was good,
Mm.
but immediately, because I'm me,
Mm.
I was like, this is not historically accurate at all. Like,
Of course.
like it's close enough in its narrative and it's a story, so I didn't care.
Right.
Right, but it gets to season 2, and then they start going into the religion and all that, and I just was like, forget it. So I just stopped watching. I guess it's still going though, so a black female Viking named Jarl Hakon shows up in the show. And everybody's losing their mind.
Does she show up and girl boss her way through the Viking tribe and usurp
she's a Jarl, so she's in charge anyway.
So she came perfect out of the box, you say?
Yeah, but no. So here's the thing: everyone went. All these nerds went Jarl Hakon, right? And then Hakon, and they find the one from history, and they're like, "Look, it's a white dude. Ha ha! Look, they've done this. Couple of things. I actually have it written down because I knew I'd forget it. The one from history is Jarl Hakon Sigurdsson, right? Her name is Jarl Estrid Hakon. Hakon is a super common name that's still used to today.
Right.
It's her last name. It's his first name. They are not the same person at all. And then the other thing is like it doesn't even match up time period. And then the other thing is like they're like, well, Vikings weren't black. Oh my God, yes. Do you not know anything? They literally went out in boats.
Right.
And then we're like, rah, we're here now. Right. I'm gonna bang all your women. And then and then
as was the time.
Yeah, no, and then like a black dude comes back, like it happened. Like it's just that was their culture. They didn't I don't know. Like just
I bet she showed up perfect and she approached whatever the other chief or whatever, and then she gives him a lesson 2, explains it all out to him, and sucker punches him.
You're focusing on the woman aspect. I guess they did. Yeah, but see, okay, but here's the other thing: is like we had shield maidens and shit. Like that's not a thing. Like who cares? And they even set that up. That's been in the show for a long time. Like you've had female leaders and stuff like that.
But you can't.
This is before we said woke, so you can't even go there. But anyway, I found this amusing because all these people are very, very angry and at the same time very, very wrong, and they don't realize it. I made one post about it. Nobody responded. I was like, fine. I was expecting everybody to get mad at me. But nobody did.
I think it's soared so far above their heads, Frosty, that they didn't even bother looking up.
Well, I calmly explained you know me, I'm a nerd. I'm
right, I know, right. But I can pretty sure that they will go 4 words into that, and their brains will switch off, and then they'll just resume
function. You can never talk that,
right.
But it's funny with Norse stuff with me because like there was a video game that came out and Norse stuff was really popular for a while, and then I had all these like nerds telling me about Nordic like history and mythology.
When God of War went Norse,
and I'm like none of that's right, like, and I'm like even the mythology is wrong. Like
right.
that's from a storybook Christians wrote.
That's like Marvel lore.
No, but the reason, I'll stop talking about Vikings in a second, but just the reason that you get that a lot with Vikings is because they didn't have a written like language there, and so the people that wrote about them were the people that conquered or fought and that kind of stuff. So you had the Eddas and Sagas, that's where characters like Loki comes from, and where most of the stories when you think of
right.
That was because they went over to England, they conquered England, and then the Christians wrote stories about them in the 13th century. And so it really is just a storybook. It's not what they actually believed.
Right.
It's based on what they believed, but
Mm.
like they made up a bunch of crap. Like Loki is a key example.
Mm.
And that's what I mean. The show Vikings, in the very first episode, one of the characters goes, "Oh, that's Floki," and then like this guy goes, "Oh, like the god," and I was like, "There is no god named Loki."
Just turn the TV off and go back to playing whatever.
Anyway, so you were talking about this. I know you're excited. I'm almost not excited because everybody's excited, and I know that makes me an asshole. So don't get mad at me. I apologize in advance for feeling this way.
Okay.
But a live-action R-rated Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles
Ronin
movie is in the works.
Yes. Now,
Yay.
so my joke is that instead of Michelangelo, it's going to be Venus, and that's how it's going to go woke. But you know,
and it's just this is one of those things that went really, really popular, and everybody I know has gotten into.
Right.
And I'm just like, there's a lot of cool stuff.
Okay, so all right. So I'm going to.
No, but I know I'm an asshole.
Let
me preface all this. This is irrational, stupid feelings that I have that I accept are irrational.
No. So here's the thing. I'll say that you actually are rational, and this is a tale, fellow nerds. This is a tale of two turtles, if you will. So one turtle born in the age of Gen Y, two turtles were born. One turtle went on to be exposed to more traditional things, more violent portrayals of turtles. One that painted a different image of turtles in one's head, while the other, unaware of origins of said turtles, went on to get exposed to cartoonish turtles. Then those became the turtles of the other turtle's mind. Both turtles have two versions of turtles in their mind. Now, what I think
you're doing what I always say is it's perspectives. We
what
the same thing, but because we created our own reality.
So what because yes, your version of the turtles is the original version of the turtles, but
I liked The Last Ronin. I don't have a problem with it. I really enjoyed reading it.
So when fellow nerd Dan and I were talking about this last night, because our first exposure to turtles was the silly cartoony one, and that's the one that blew up with the toys and everything. I wasn't aware that there was like a precursor to the turtles like until years later, and I kept hearing rumor about it being like this darker thing, and Shredder like carried himself. So either way, so what I think Ronin does is it sort of pleases everybody. It pleases the entirety of the fandom because it takes here's Mikey, the Cowabunga dude, and you have him go through all this and you age him up, and my Mikey, I'm perfectly okay accepting becoming Ronin, like the silly cheesy one from the cartoon.
Well, I am too.
So so what I think this does,
they wrote it well enough. They so people disagree on this all the time, but I actually think they pulled it off.
Right.
Like it's like a Wolverine in Old Man Logan, or Superman in Injustice.
Right.
Yeah, you go, how did Wolverine become a pacifist? That makes no sense. But then they write something and
because Mysterio tricked him into killing the X-Men.
Superman, same deal. Like there's no way that Superman would become this, and then you're like, oh boy, the Joker really did a number on
right. So, but either way, so what I think Ronin does.
God. You know what? I'm sorry. I'm jumping topics real fast, but I did. Someone said for every masterpiece is their knockoff, right? I've seen that all the time.
Oh yeah,
yeah. But they posted Judge Dead or whatever his name is, the undead judge. I feel like an asshole for not remembering his name. But in the Judge Dredd universe, there's a separate. They have a multiverse too, and they had these undead judges that viewed all the living as like guilty, so they like slaughtered their entire planet. And so it's this undead judge, and in Dredd, the Judge Dredd gear, and then so they go for every masterpiece, post that is the imitation, and then it was the fucking Batman Who Laughs, and I went, oh my god,
wow. I love the Batman Who Laughs, though.
It's like someone recently said this, like they went, the Crow is just RoboCop for Goss, and then the thing was like, and then I was like, I did the same thing. I went,
wait a minute.
well, I see the point. There's other things to say.
It's a death and rebirth
point.
and vengeance. There you go.
Yeah, but I mean that's the thing. Like you could argue that it's a story that's been told.
Right.
Times.
It's just the archetype. It's the
you
narrative
could argue
archetype.
that RoboCop is just sci-fi Jesus story.
Right. I think it's funny that fellow nerd Adrian wants to soak up all the religious mythos of the world just so he can have all that knowledge. That's awesome.
I hope I'm talking to him respectfully because I went through it and then I came out the other end. And some people don't. I mean, whatever. I don't care. Do your thing.
Right.
It's just I feel like a lot of the stuff he's into, I kind of studied some of because I went through years of like going religious. And then I just kind of was like, Vikings are cool.
Yeah. But either way, so I never, because I love the Batman Who Laughs. He's probably one of my newer favorite DC villains because I always like how one of my favorite versions of Superman is Injustice Superman because it's Superman who experienced a tragedy and oh my god, how does he cope with that? It's sort of
the Batman Who Laughs is darker.
Right. So it's sort of the flip with Batman where.
I guess Batman is darker, yeah.
Right. So, but it's sort of the same concept, right? Where you had Batman and he was just, I mean, completely different origins, mind you, but he reached that point where he just broke.
It's the art style. It's the imagery of the characters.
Yeah.
They both are that dripping in like
just
dark necromancer fucking badassness, like the like. And it's just like you're just like, oh yeah, because that one came out before, and this one looks a lot, especially with the face and the helmet.
Yeah,
and you're just like you totally see it. But anyway, but I will say this. I'm back to what we were talking about. Ninja Turtles: Last Ronin sounds dope.
Right.
I guess where I was just saying is I feel like. Sometimes when something that's underground for you becomes really popular, you're kind of like, I liked it before it was cool, you know, like the underground dark turtles.
Right. I like Star Wars back when it was okay to beat us up for our lunch money.
I always think that with comics, like I was into all this stuff like back when it was like you're kind of a nerd, you know, like
socially acceptable to call us horrible things. Yes,
it's a better world though. Anyway, the full Superman logo has been revealed. Did you see that?
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah, it looks good.
Yeah, it's Kingdom Come. Yeah, color swap. I'm fine. I don't even want to get into the argument.
Yeah,
it's a good logo. Cool.
Yeah. It doesn't do anything. It's true to the character.
I will say this: a lot of people are saying it doesn't even look like. I mean, it does look like an S. But a lot of people are going, they're saying like you wouldn't recognize that as an S if you didn't already know that, you know,
right?
And like, why wouldn't he start out with a bigger, more recognizable S? Sometimes it's an S. Sometimes it's like more of a coat of. Sometimes it's a coat of arms. So it's not even an S because they don't have S in Krypton.
Right.
It's like when you go to like you look at like your English coat of arms, you know, like in things, right. Like, we just liked them really ornate back in the day.
Well, you know what? If I were to give Zack Snyder just a point and hit for Hufflepuff, you know, they handled it in Man of Steel, where it's like, oh, it resembles an S. You know, it's just that human pareidolia. Where
no, I agree.
Takes
like, they made it a symbol as well. Like, it was fine. Yeah, I remember watching that movie, and I think I saw it with Jeff. And like, you know, when they go up into the rocket ship, I immediately went, they look like dicks. And he was like, what? And I was like, they look like dicks. And like everyone around me heard it.
It looks like a huge wanker.
They did. They looked like, and then like I've heard people writing stuff like, well, it was supposed to be because it's like they were going into and like and then you look and they might be right because you're watching Rebel Moon and the very first thing that happens is giant space vagina opens up. Something comes out.
And it looks like a dick.
Yeah. And people were like, "Oh, like no, it's supposed to be like the eye of Sauron." I was like, "I don't open
No,
my eye like that."
no.
Like,
It opened like this. It was vertical. It wasn't horizontal.
anyway,
Anyway.
he might have not been intentional, honestly. Like as a designer, so I
Mm,
know this as an artist
mm.
because there's been times where I've like made somehow like that looks cool, and then I'm like, dude, you really happy with this?
Hmm.
And then I put it up on display, and then as soon as I go, I made a giant cock and balls,
Okay,
like I
so
didn't see it.
one of the creature designs, my evil space worms, the Nord with the silent H, they from the one end they look like they have giant like vaginas, but they're not vaginas. It's supposed to be like a predator mouth, like a blah
Yeah,
type
yeah, yeah.
thing. And then on the back side, because they're supposed to be like flatworms, is how I sort of their inspiration for them. Just your basic flagellum flatworm, and on their backs they have a little tail. That's also their mouth, and it looks like just a little flap. So I incorporated that into the space worms, but it looks like a cock and balls on their back, but it's not. It's just a puffy tail that's supposed to be. So from both ends they look awful, but they're not meant to be awful. They're meant to be
No, I get
disgusting.
you. But it's like, have you ever created something and then like in your happy with it, and then someone just went, "Hey, look," and then you're like, "Oh crap," because you just didn't see it.
Right.
Like that happens all the time.
Yeah.
But anyway, so full Superman logo, happy with it. Oh God, I'm talking about Snyder a lot today.
Yes. Talk about Snyder a
So
lot.
so this is well, I guess there's been a lot of news about him. That's why
Yeah.
he's a popular guy in
Yeah.
comics. Um, yeah, so apparently he's considering taking the rest of his, the Justice League
Mm.
University created
Mm.
and doing it animated. Oh
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
I'll watch that.
Okay. Yeah.
I liked what we got. I would love more.
Yeah.
And you know what? Whatever you want to say, when I watched Flash,
Mhm.
it made me go, kind of bummed that this universe doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
I because like we got to hang out with those characters a little bit,
Mm.
and so it was just like and that was like the first time in a movie
Mm.
it was it was their, even though I didn't like Ultron 2 or
Mm.
Ultron the movie,
Mm.
the beginning part was good because it
It's
was
just
them
characters,
hanging
yeah,
out.
just
Yeah,
being
and,
themselves.
and I mean they weren't getting to hang out, but like it was them doing Justice League stuff that wasn't Justice League stuff. You know what
Right,
I
right,
mean?
right,
And that's the perfect way to start a movie. Is
right,
business as usual.
right.
Like I don't know. I thought it was dope.
I thought it was cool.
Oh yeah,
Anyway,
so but yeah, animated. Yeah, I'll totally watch that.
I'd watch it. Yeah.
Yeah, put on HBO Max or something.
That way everybody wins.
Yeah. A lot of people are like mad about it, like, they're like, oh, it should be live action. It's like, dude, like animation allows you to do stuff that you can't get in live action.
Mm.
And I would be interested to see what he can do with his visual style
Mm.
in an animated medium.
Yeah.
Purely from an art point of view, I think I would like to see it. So Alex Garland said he had to develop. So he says he had to develop 28 years later after he finally found a specific idea that felt like a story worth telling.
Okay.
So that makes me like excited to see it. I was against it. You were for it, and but him saying that's changed my mind a little bit. It was just I kind of was disappointed by the sequel, and I thought the first one had such a solid ending that it there was no more story to tell.
Right.
You know what I mean? Because you remember they were like all the zombies were dying. It was the happy ending. They come running out. They've got the fucking thing as hello, and the jet flies over, and the little girl's with them.
Mm.
I was happy living in that world, and I was fine revisiting it. But then it was like the movie I got wasn't as good as the first movie. So then it was like, oh,
Right.
so now that's where I feel anyway. But
Oh, well,
I know you said you were looking forward to it.
yeah, I mean, give us something to watch. Yeah, just give us something good to watch, man. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah. What else we got? We need to burn through some time here.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Civil War is tracking to be A24's first ever film to be #1 domestically on an opening weekend.
Well,
I've heard amazing things about this movie,
so
and I've heard it is unsettling to watch.
yeah, I had a feeling it's going to be one of these movies.
But they do very hard to point out it's fictional
right.
because like California and Texas are allies in it. And
Yeah, that's that's crazy.
But I guess the plot is a family is traveling from New York to like Oregon as this civil war is happening or something.
Interesting. Almost reminds me of my goodness, what was that movie that we watched that was based off the book with the family and the world is ending around them? What was that called? It was a Behold, nerds.
Family.
The family who's stuck in the house and the world is ending around them, but it's all passively shown. Get the
yeah, and then at the end the little girl runs to the bunker
and watches Friends. Yeah, God, what's that movie?
Yeah,
what's that movie called?
Oh God, I forget. It's got a name that's specific, like it's very specific to the message of the film.
Yeah. It's like yesterday, tomorrow, something.
Yeah, something like I can't remember, but like I thought it was something to do about like how we're all dicks, basically.
Yeah,
because like that was the point of the movie, and that was how the little girl got to live because she was the only one who wasn't a dick.
Right.
Yeah, that's why I like film because you get to do stuff like that. But anyway, yeah. So I want to watch this. It's won me over. I'm not gonna go see it in theaters, but once it's out digitally, I'll rent it.
Yeah, I'll watch it.
Okay, so these ones, sorry, it's a little bit long, but they're super interesting, so I got to read them. I'll try and get through them fast. So the CinemaCon, CinemaCon came out.
Yes. Oh, good. I was gonna bring up CinemaCon. So yeah, what do you got?
Exclusive stuff.
Yes.
So the reel kicks off with
the first 9
Wade
minutes
Wilson
of
now trying
the
to
first
live as a car salesman.
Yes.
He works with his former X-Force team member Peter, who keeps the old Deadpool costume in his work locker in hopes that he can both go back to fighting crime one day. But Peter takes Wade back to his apartment for a surprise party to celebrate his birthday, and all the X-Men characters from the previous films there, including Colossus, Negasonic, fucking Yukio, Dopinder, his landlord, Vanessa. Apparently they're not dating anymore.
Vanessa aren't together anymore, which confuses me. I hate when they do things like that where you have them together and then you break them up between movies without explanation. Like,
well, they'll explain it, but probably. But the reason I don't like that is because I'm a romantic at heart, and the whole first two movies were about them being together. Like it was a star-crossed lover story,
right?
And so you've given me a star-crossed lover story with Deadpool, and now you're taking it away, and I'm like, ooh, no, that hurt. As soon as I read that, I was like, oof.
Yeah.
So that's why I don't like it. I mean, it's effective,
right?
But it hurt me,
right?
But apparently he blows out the candles. Then TV agent come in. They collect him, and they tell him he's got to save the sacred timeline.
Right.
So he gets upgraded to his suit, including adamantium swords. The funniest joke is
Thor
Wade
crying over
the camera. Well, no, they're saying the funniest joke is Wade running over to the camera, smashing the lens with his forehead, grabbing a mic out of frame and saying, "Suck it, Fox. I'm going to Disneyland. Get fucked." Then he rolls out in his new updated costume. Fergie's Glamorous plays as Wade starts to show off in true Deadpool fashion.
That's awesome.
So yeah, and then obviously there was the thing you were talking. Go ahead.
Yeah. So heard a saying that it shows like a distant timeline where Thor is crying over the body of Wade Wilson, and apparently it is Chris Hemsworth. That's hilarious. So another thing that they did mention is that we did see this, like parts of this scene in the first trailer. All the dialogue was completely different, which is great. And you know how they'll shoot the same scene but with different dialogue and just So it's cool that it's the same scene but with some different dialogue. And maybe when the movie comes out, it'll be more dialogue to that, and it'll be something different. So that's awesome. I'm super stoked for this. Everybody's saying that it was.
Really I am too. It's dope. I can't wait. I guess what's his name at Real Super Killers was saying that like he was mad, and I was like, why are you mad, bro? Like it sounds dope, and he was like, well, he's mad that those CinemaCon guys got it and he didn't. And
Oh yeah,
I was like, well, yeah, but this is just how marketing works. And then
right.
he was like, I've waited my whole life for a yellow Wolverine. I was like, dude, I ain't getting my Power Girl movie, so just shut the fuck up. Like, you know, like,
Right.
anyway, um, and that's the longer lifespan.
Right.
He hates that. He hates when I pull the like, let me tell you, whippersnapper. It's just sometimes I feel like that, like
Oh yeah.
talking to some of these younger guys.
Yeah.
No, but they're dope, and I know I'm a dick for doing it. Just it's me joking. Anyway,
It's how Frosty do.
yeah. I just feel old, so I like to make jokes about being old.
Yeah, me too. It's great.
CinemaCon got to see the very first footage from Captain America: Brave New World.
Mm.
The clip Disney showed, it showed Sam Wilson meeting Thunderbolt Ross.
Yes, Harrison Ford. Yes,
who is now president at the White House.
Mm.
Ross is asking to meet with Wilson so he can reunite the Avengers with a new Captain America at the forefront. He's looking to unite forces, but he might have some ulterior motive unknown to everyone else. During the meeting where Ross is presenting the plan to the crowd with Sam in attendance, a mysterious villain takes over the speaker and controls the minds of Secret Service agents, whom Sam struggles to pin down in a fight. Full chaos ensues, which leads to a montage of different action set pieces of the film. We get to see Sam attacking the White House. He's using the shield to block himself from multiple Secret Service agents trying to tase him. We see shots of Sam Wilson and Joaquin Torres in action together. Everything builds up to a tense confrontation between Sam and Thunderbolt Ross inside the Oval Office, wherein Ross tells him, "You're not Steve Rogers." After a long pause, Sam says, "You're right, I'm not." Finally, we see Sam suit up in the new Captain America suit, which is more silver and blue than blue and white.
Mm.
So, sounds dope.
Yeah.
Um,
I wonder how they're going to handle the recasting, or if they're just going to move through it, or just not acknowledge the fact. Okay.
Yeah, that's the best thing to do.
All right.
But
I want to see him go Red Hulk in the White House. That'd be great.
Yeah. But I look, whatever my feeling, here's why comics are awesome. And if you can't just shut the hell up and accept that this is going to be cool, I don't understand you as a human being. I'm sorry, I don't. We've got flying Falcon Captain America shield with like guns and like fighting the White House.
Right.
Like, and you can't just be like, that's cool. You know?
Okay, you know what? On that note, remember when I was talking about this with a guest.
And then also Harrison Ford is there? Yay.
Right. So on that note, I have the best conversations with people at the bar, but we were talking about the opening to X-Men 2 with Nightcrawler entering the White House. That was cool as fuck. Yeah. That's a cool as fuck scene. So yeah, we get the similar setting.
I know, but this will be a bigger one, you know.
Right, but still. Okay, so we've seen Nightcrawler in the White House. That was cool as fuck. Now we get to see Falcon in the White House with.
No, you know what it reminds me of? A reverse of Winter Soldier.
Yeah.
Where Rogers is like breaking out of Shield and like the fucking thing flies down and he takes it out. Like Steve Rogers is dope. This is gonna be sort of the same thing, except now he's a Falcon too.
Right.
I mean, like let's just.
But he's not a super soldier though. Like that's
silver. Like just think Silverhawk, Steve Rogers, guns.
Right.
I mean, how can you not enjoy that? But anyway,
because it's
fighting
woke.
the White House.
Because it's woke. The White House is metaphor for the propaganda.
You got anything else?
Actually, yes. So, it has been reported that we are getting a new series adaptation for the Never-Ending Story.
Really?
Yeah. From Slow Horses.
I'd watch it. I mean, I'm down.
So I started reading the original.
Past the original. I guess it. I mean, I'll watch it because I think you could do something awesome with that. but I don't think it's going to surpass what we got.
Right. So I started reading the book, didn't need to finish it, but the book is actually.
I don't know if I can handle Falcor's death again, man.
Oh, I love that movie. I will put that movie on and just be.
What is that? What's the horse's name? Was it Falcor?
Falcor.
Okay.
I actually got to ride Falcor in Germany, which is fucking fantastic. But it's cool.
I don't want to relive that. You know what I mean? They just got me with Gambit. Okay, it's too soon.
Oh my god. Oh, Gambit. I can't wait to talk about that. So, because Fantasia is supposed to be an amalgam of human imagination, right? Like, in my head, and then I had this thought, and then it's like, oh god, South Park did it with Imagination Land, where you have some threat taking over Fantasia, and oh my god, what do we do? The Optimus Prime, go get him! Oh shit, Aslan, go get him! Powerpuff Girls, go! Like, you know, they're just destroying everything. And then all of a sudden, a fissure in space opens up, and out pops the quantum universe, and it's like, oh my god, Quantum's here to help. Stupid, but I'm okay with it. The movies were. The first two movies are the first book, but it makes...
I know what you're doing, by the way. Like when I first created my original character, everything I watched, I inserted him in there. And like I would be watching like I'd be watching Spider-Man, and be like, "This is how Vincent would that situation." Like, you know, like it was everything. Like I'd be watching Alien, and be like, "Oh, you know, handle this well is Vincent." You know, like Alien, like Predator, like oh yeah. Hey, that shit would be over, man. Like,
it's fun. But anyways, I'm excited for it. Make it woke, I guess. I don't know.
Yeah. Sounds cool.
Make it woke by making Atreyu actually green. Make him all
no,
green.
Oh god, no. I just that was one of those moments. Like you know, it reminded me of like when I was even younger watching. I think it was Milo and Otis, and like when one of them gets like a girlfriend or whatever, and like it starts building a family, and then like the other one realizes like, I don't have a place in my life with you and your family. And then it's like, I'm leaving, I'm going over the mountain. And then the first one's like, what, you're leaving? Like, just talking about it. Part of it is also, I'm on a lot of drugs and they make you crazy emotional. my transplant. Dude, you have no idea how devastated I was watching X-Men.
Oh my God. So good.
And then I can't like just talking about it. But anyway, forgive me. But
anyways, that's it. So yeah, we can move on. That was the only news that I had.
Okay. Well, then let's jump straight into X-Men because that's the big talking point, I think. Well, I don't want to dismiss Invincible. It's just X-Men 97. It did blow it out of the water.
Yeah.
But Invincible is still just the finest of fine wines. Yeah. Like the thing is, Invincible has always been stellar. And I don't want to dismiss that in any way, shape, or form. But X-Men 97, holy fuck.
Given the people behind the helm, like, who's had wavering consistency with their product, like, this is a phenomenal show. This is probably the best, like, X-Men, or not X-Men, just overall Marvel stuff they put out, period.
Let's just slow this shit down. Let's enjoy this. Let's enjoy this moment. Okay. So let's take it from the beginning.
Yes.
So they go to Genosha,
which is a thriving paradise.
Yeah, like freaking Nightcrawler shows up. He's like in their arms, hugging him. He's putting his arm on Madeline Pryor. Everybody's like, "This is just a dope party."
$10 apples, you say?
Dazzler's there, like fucking doing shit.
Oh, I fucking love what they did with Dazzler.
$10 apples in 1990s money.
Right.
Holy fuck. But yeah, it's still like everybody's having a big party.
Right.
It's so much fun. They draw you in.
Mm-hmm.
You are having a good time.
Yes.
You're getting to see all these cool X-Men characters you recognize and
Mm-hmm.
stuff, all these mutants. So
It
yeah,
had been so long since I've seen these characters. I recognize them, but forgot the names of most of them. I posted the one that.
I mean, a lot of them. Same with me. I couldn't. At one point remembered them,
Mm,
but I can't. My brain doesn't work that well.
right. You have to.
I have
The old
to.
lady has to
I
have to
have to.
thumb
Yeah, I
through the
have to.
archives.
Well, no, I mean I know them well enough that I can be like X-Men '97, like uh telekinetic guy. You know what I mean? I
Right.
just kind of I Google in what I remember about him,
Mm,
and a lot of time you can just type in their description, and then in the internet's like that
right.
guy. You know?
Oop, phone's doing a thing. But anyway,
As soon as I said Google,
oh.
shut up. Sorry, everybody.
It's working too well.
But
anyway,
yeah,
so we're
great.
Yeah, so we're being exposed to this big party. I love the scene with Dazzler doing the thing with Dazzler. That was
By the way, you know what Marvel should do?
Give us a bag of money to handle the franchise moving forward. Yes.
No. But here's what I'm saying. Just they need to go up to Taylor Swift and beg her to do a part in one of their X-Men movies as Dazzler.
Oh.
And just her on stage, and then allow doing her thing, because she's not an actress,
right?
But she's still perfect.
She's still Dazzler. Yeah. Oh, that'd be.
She's exactly Dazzler. So
right.
Do that. Give her the rights to the music video with maybe like a small percentage for them, but they get rights to the movie.
Right.
And then like everybody wins. Maybe you're gonna have to like donate some money. Give that woman whatever she wants, like charities. Doesn't matter. Do it, because you're gonna make tons of money if you do this. Because all of a sudden the Swifties will show up to an X-Men movie. Even if the movie tanks, the movie's gonna freaking just destroy.
Like, could you imagine having an X-Men movie and then there's just a somehow right into sequence where Taylor Swift as Dazzler shows up and just has that awesome musical moment. Yeah. Yo, Disney, give Frosty a bag of money.
Dude, no, that's what they got to do.
That checks every box. That's the reason. It's like take Hannah Montana.
I know, but the problem is like they're gonna have to give too much money to her.
Right.
They're gonna be like, well, what if we don't make enough back? You will.
You will. Oh yeah, you will.
Yeah. Just take a smaller cut,
right,
and give her like the rights to the music video or something, or
right,
the song, or something. Give her like, and then you get the scene for the movie, and you retain the movie rights. Plus, like she gets paid for it.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Everybody wins. Everybody wins.
Yeah. But anyway, X-Men '97. Okay.
Yes.
So Dazzler shows up. Fun. What happened next?
We have.
We cut to Scott.
So Scott's being interviewed, asking some pointed questions. Scott's having a bit of a meltdown.
He gave away his son.
Yeah.
His wife is a clone.
Right.
I mean, like the dude is like breaking up.
Right.
And then we also had Jean kiss Wolverine. People are upset about that.
No.
Okay, that scene did piss me off a little bit, because he's like, Wolverine like kisses her and he's like, I only ever seen one of you, Red. And I'm like, that's factually false.
Right.
There is another one.
Right.
That Scott is technically married to. You are totally in the clear, my friend.
Right.
You were like,
have your cake and eat it too. There's two of them.
Yeah, or if this one is like, hey, I really want, if Scott, like I'm with Scott, then you go, that's cool, Red. I'm gonna go hang out with Madeline Pryor.
Right.
I mean, it would have backfired. I mean, he would have lived through it.
Yeah.
So yeah, you're fine. I mean, it would hurt him, but
right.
Anyway. So Scott's having a meltdown.
I like how he's having a meltdown. I like how he's sort of like, y'all don't understand. We're out there fighting all these monsters and shit, and y'all still treat us like garbage. Like,
Yeah.
y'all suck. And
Yeah, cool. Because he recently, like, he tried to get his baby, and
yeah,
like the doctor wouldn't deliver it.
right. So right, but that's what the show does so well, because Scott's always been the co-leader of the X-Men with Storm. She's absent right now, so it's on Scott, and he's dealing with all this shit, and you see him starting to break. That's fucking great.
The funniest thing in my mind
Mm.
is they pulled this episode out.
Mm.
They just, like just past our expectations, and everyone's like, "Oh my god, I can't wait till next Wednesday," and they're gonna turn it on, and it's gonna be
Storm and Forge.
Like, just so many people are gonna be mad on Wednesday. It's so funny.
I mean, we'll see. I mean, they have to do so. What they could do is show the events leading up to the Genosha attack from Storm and Forge, and then
no. That's not what they're doing. They're doing the part 2 of her story. Like, do you remember at the end of their last?
Yeah.
See, like that like monster showed up, so that's like from Bishop's like heritage. Like, because in the comments he was like living in a high tower as some rich guy who could live among humans just because he was rich. Like, but anyway, that's a whole separate conversation. But so yeah, then we also get Magneto. He gets they're like, "We want you to lead us,"
right?
And then there's that great line where I just think that's why I was like, I want Magneto as president. He has so many good lines. A promise was made, or like they're like, oh yeah, well usually the UN doesn't allow like terrorists to. And he was like, well, but yet it allows leaders to become terrorists or something like that. Like, and that was just like, oh, I want that man as my president. I would follow that man into hell and back. I would. I would follow him back into hell.
I'm not a fan of the giant M on his chest, but my God, did they write him well? Every line of dialogue that he delivers just hits home in every scene, and it's awesome. It's seeing Magneto as a leader. We saw that in Age of Apocalypse, and that was cool. It's the same thing. It's like, you dare challenge the master of magnetism? Like, it's cool because he talks like a supervillain, but he's a good guy, and that's awesome.
He's great. Oh, he's great. Well, he's still a bad guy, but he's like, yeah, he's a good guy. But,
right.
Okay, but so the thing with Rogue made sense. But I also thought he was kind of a dick for asking her to do it. But then we had, such a punch in the chest. Rogue breaking up with Gambit.
Right.
But Gambit is like,
I can't touch you, Remy.
Yeah, but Gambit is like, they make Gambit like the ultimate man. Because he's just like something more important than that chair, something go deeper. I mean, he's the smoothest mother. That dude is silk. Like, I want to fuck him. Like,
right. Just fine cashmere. Just
dude, no. He's amazing. Like,
right.
I just like, and then I understand where she's coming from. Except, no, I'm sorry.
Just call her.
Hey, look, now we can do whatever we want.
Okay, so it's sidetrack. One of the hard things with Quantum is trying to not have those moments, because I saw a couple moments where I'm writing something and I had that collar moment. It's like, fuck, I need to retool that a little bit.
Yeah, so there's either two things you can do, because it happens all the time in writing. You either just blow past it,
right,
and hopefully nobody notices, and accept that sometimes you're gonna miss stuff.
Oh yeah, no. I have an invisible pocket Frosty who is on my shoulder. He's just perched right here every time I'm typing something.
No, but it's not important, really. You just gotta accept that there's always gonna be.
Yeah,
I
know.
But anyway, so this is the part I was like, oh, she is twisting the knife, and they go to the party. And then
she shows up and she floats down and
then she starts like making out in front of him, and like, it's like, yeah, you just friend zoned him,
right?
And like,
but I mean, she does it for a reason, because he approaches her wanting her to be his queen,
Yeah, I know.
essentially.
I get
So
that there was political motives, but
right.
still. Anyway,
But I mean, so she didn't do that because necessarily out of love for him. She was doing it because
I
she already knew, and that he was using her. Which just the
yeah, but
layers.
it did have a moment because she kisses him and she realizes like, oh my god,
Yeah.
Gambit's right. Some things do go deeper,
Right.
and like, and so I thought that was beautifully written too.
Right.
And then so this the big thing. So big parties going off every like Genosha. It's a happening
It's a
place.
great place. Everybody is
The
thriving.
party, yeah, like there's
And then,
um
and then,
and then Cable
Cable
runs
shows
in.
up.
Yeah, and also before that, the Watcher in the moon, like up in the sky next to the moon. Did you catch that?
I didn't. I missed that.
Oh, so we see the Watcher silhouette in the sky. As soon as I saw, so if you don't know the Watcher, he shows up when something important's about to happen,
Right.
and so he shows up. Cable runs in, turn the music
Turn the
off,
music off. Turn the
everyone.
music off. Yeah.
Yeah. And then
Oh my god.
Madeline sees him, and then she like realizes like who he is, and like,
Mom.
yeah. And then he goes, and
He gets sucked back into his portal.
Anyway, so then they pulled from a comic book, and when I realized this, I was like, oh. I don't. I mean, you tell me. Like, what was your like? What did you notice first? I guess there was the big blast, right? Like the.
Yeah. So Cable shows up, and it's that moment of, oh my god, guys, 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 and Cable's a time traveler. Now, God, I wish I had noticed the Watcher in the moon. God damn it! I wish now I want to rewatch it.
I watched it 3 times.
I kind of want to rewatch it all just from start to finish, from beginning to catch up. Oh, because it's so good. So you have essentially the Judgment Day scene. Let's call it that, where it's everything just starts going. Bombs are going, nukes are going off. Essentially, Sentinels are coming down, and then you see like a street level, and then you see just the eyes pierce the sky, and then you see the
glow. There's that green.
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden they're hit.
Right.
And oh, geez, it's just like, and people are just like getting taken out left and right.
Right.
And then like Gambit, like kind of like he explains the situation to us. He's like, yeah, anybody that goes up against it dies instantly.
Right.
Like the Morlocks are pinned down under it. We're trying to get people out.
Right.
And then like,
I like how he went back for the Morlocks, because nobody likes the Morlocks, and I'm surprised that they're still living in the subterraneans. I guess because the whole point of
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So then we have a promise was made. Not for me. I was like, yes. And then and you just know that Magneto's going up against this thing.
Right.
And then like, so their plan comes together. He's gonna tank the thing. Well, they drive like, and then and that's my point. That's why I don't know if anybody even got my joke in it. This thing is just like, it's like, holy fuck, it hits you. You're like, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god.
It's like the heat ray from War of the Worlds, essentially. It's just on a bigger scale.
But then it goes, and they start kicking ass.
Yes.
And then you're like, oh, this is a hope, you know?
Right.
And then he's like, lead the frickin' thing. I'll go draw fire, get the Morlocks.
Yes.
And they start kicking ass, and they're fighting against the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Magneto like fucking fights, boom, gets knocked against the thing.
Mm-hmm.
Banshee fucking dies instantly.
Right.
It's just, it's insane, but they are kicking ass,
right?
And that's what I mean. So but then it hurts you, builds up, and then it hurts you,
right?
But then the Morlocks are like, oh yeah, Magneto will come, and like, and then like the Gambit shows up, and yeah, it's just the best scene ever. It's
right?
So Gambit heavy,
right?
It's dope.
Gambit had his moment.
And then Yeah, go ahead.
So then eventually we have Magneto, and it faces off against the big Sentinel thing. I thought it was Nimrod at first, but once it showed the totality of it, I'm not sure if there's like a specific name
Do you
for
know
the.
do you know what they are? You didn't
No,
know what that
no,
was?
no. So I know what they are. It's just I'm not sure what their name is. They're like the big Sentinel.
They're called wild sentinels.
Okay.
So to explain what this is, so there's sentinels, right? They're built
Right.
in a factory.
Right.
They push them out.
Right.
Then they were like, this takes forever. So then they created a master mold, and that just
Yeah.
like spits them out like fire.
Great design for something like that. Just to make a bigger one sitting with a box, and it just pumps them out of the box. It's weird looking.
So then there is wild sentinels. You
Mm.
haven't seen a wild sentinel before. Wild sentinels, they absorb their surroundings
Mm.
and adapt and grow stronger. So you like, and to keep them in check, they're only allowed to be on these islands, these remote islands. But they just anything that attacks the island is instantly dead.
Okay.
And so what they do is, I'll get to it later, but they release one of those, and so it adapts. It just draws in resources and gets bigger and bigger and bigger,
Okay.
and it becomes just more powerful. And that's how powerful they are.
Okay.
There's like 4 or 5 of them. They just send one of them after Genosha.
Jesus.
And in the comics, the way they show it is they go Genosha population, Genosha, 16 million, blah 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 blah, falling, da 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 da, falling, da 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 da, falling,
Right.
743 falling.
Jesus.
And it was it was like extinction event happening, and like Charles is watching it happen. This is no longer Claremont. This is newer. But anyway, so that's where Wild Sentinel is. So one of those shows up, and that's the thing. It's like these things are crazy.
But it also produces Sentinels, also, right?
Yeah, it's a master mold,
right?
But it's a wild master mold,
right?
That draws in resources and becomes more powerful as it draws in resources.
It's like a world destroyer kind of from Star Wars. Yeah, I get it. That's cool.
It's left on a remote island, and it's not allowed to leave because that way it can only draw in the resources of this like
a finite island.
Yeah, but then they're like, go to there. That's how powerful they are.
That's awesome.
But
anyways, so Magneto tanks one of these things. Rogue tries to. No, I don't want to get ahead of it. So Magneto's tanking this thing. Rogue tries to interject, but the
thing's fighting, and then all of a sudden we hear Omega level threat.
Right.
And then he's like, and you're just like, hell yes. And then like all of a sudden he's like, oh fuck, and then he's holding it, but he's not gonna hold it.
Right.
And Rogan tries to interject, and he's like
no.
And and then she's just like held and like and like it's just not gonna. And then he turns to what's the name, Leech or whatever, and he's like, he says in German like, don't be afraid, because he realizes he's gonna die.
Right.
And then boom, and then you hear Omega level threat. Exterminator,
right?
Like that. And like, I don't remember what it said exactly, but then it just turns to go because it no longer matters. And like,
right.
And then Rogue breaks out and she goes to fight the thing, and he's like, Gambit just panics and he's just like, oh shit! So he hops on the motorcycle,
charges it up, flings it at her.
Yeah, and then it bounces, and then he realizes it's gonna kill all his friends.
Right.
And then Gambit, all of a sudden, he starts doing all these like gambling. He's like, I see your hand, and I'll raise it.
He's like, and he's doing the flipping. Oh my god! And he's coming with the staff.
Yeah. And then boom, it hits him in the side. Yeah. And then he's like, and then but then he grabs it, and then
well, hold on, the thing holds it up, and
you
have to have him that moment.
Go ahead.
And then it's like, my name is Gambit, or did he say Gambit or Remy? And then he grabs.
No, he says the name's Gambit.
Yeah,
and then it gives you the thing. Remember it. I just couldn't remember what happened after he charged it or before.
Yeah.
But he grabs it and he charges the
it.
entire thing.
And then it explodes, and it's fucking glorious. You know what this reminds me of? And it's like somebody watched, what was it, The Last Jedi, and said, wow, remember that terrible scene with Finn trying to save the day by sacrificing himself in the thing, but then Rose needlessly shows up and like protects him by crashing her thing into the thing, which could have killed the two of them. The whole plot sounds stupid if it makes sense, but then apparently she liked the guy. It felt like somebody watched that and said, let's do it better, and we got this.
Well, I think it's a classic.
It's a classic trope, but let's.
But they pulled it off.
They pulled it off exceptionally better. And
yeah, and I mean, so he saves the day. What's left of the day.
Right.
We see mutants were dying. Like we see Callisto, like we see her eyes dilate and she dies.
Yeah. That was Callisto. God, that was her name. All right.
There's a lot of discussion about who died because maybe Magneto did. There's saying maybe even Gambit survived. Also,
I think Nightcrawler survived.
Yeah, no, he 100% did.
Yeah.
I said to Dan that he got that right. I just missed it.
Yeah.
But because I watched it again, and I was like, oh yeah, he's standing right there.
Yeah.
Because they all crawl around, and then we had the fucking gut punch of all gut punches.
Gambit
Rogue holding him, and it's Death of Superman. That's right. Exactly what I saw.
Right.
She's even holding him like that, and then she's like Shuka, I can't feel you. But it's like after it goes black, and then just somber music. Oh,
I can't feel you. Oh,
yeah, oh God, I just couldn't take it.
This had the same impact on me as when De Leon was killed in Exo Squad, when he sacrificed himself on the moon and he was just crushed by a Neo Sapien. He's like, oh, you stupid human. But he just... Then the next day in school, everybody was just somber. Everybody was just so silent. I feel like if we had watched this, if we grew up in this age and watched this in the store, we would...
No, come on. We had this in the original.
We did.
Because we had the death of Jean Grey. And that was the thing. Like, I remember watching that. I was like 13 at the time. My cartoon just killed Jean Grey.
Right.
And I just and this beautifully written story. But I didn't have even anyone to talk to. I come downstairs to talk to my mom. And she's just like, she doesn't understand fiction at all. It doesn't make... And so I'm just this alienated. I have no one to discuss this moment with. The internet wasn't a thing,
right?
So it was just devastating, and nobody could understand it. And then now it happens again, and it's just like, oh, I don't know, man. That was a lot.
Makes you feel alive again.
Yeah, no, it was brutal. It's. That's why I would have said Invincible. This might be one of the most defining moments of my comic book hobby for me. You know what I mean? I think it pretty much crushes everything. Wow. And I can't think of another moment that beats it. It's just, and I've had some some Thor moments in comics and all that kind of stuff. But this just the combination of the medium, character that's just really cool,
right?
And the devastation listening to Rogue and being like a love story too. Right. I guess I also feel tragedy,
right.
More than I do other things, but it had both. That's what I mean. That's why after it ended, I was like, damn, if I felt like I needed to smoke after having sex. Just like, oh God, was that good for you? Like, that's why I posted the Simpsons thing of
with Selma and what's his name?
But nobody laughed at that joke. I was like, I guess I'm not funny.
No, we hadn't seen it yet.
I guess. I know, but I mean on Twitter too.
Oh, okay.
I post to you guys, but generally I'm posting to you guys. I'm also posting to Twitter.
Right.
So yeah. But anyway, I also probably watched it before a lot of people, so because I watched it at midnight. So
yeah. But
Um,
so shut up and take my money, yeah.
oh yeah, totally.
Oh my
But I
god.
was going to tell you.
Mm.
Do you want to know like who do you think the villain is? I'm just asking.
Oh, so where's Mystique been? Just in
Uh,
general, where's
oh,
Mystique been?
I think she's the reporter. Maybe I don't know.
Okay, like I feel like
Um,
she's somewhere because
she
she's
is. I was watching something. Someone even pointed it out as soon as they did. I was like, oh yeah, how did I notice? She's been around,
yeah.
but it's not Mystique.
You don't think it's
I
Mystique?
mean, I guess it could be if they change it.
Right. Um.
Okay, the general thoughts are a lot of people saying apocalypse because cable the tick ties to cable. That's a big theory. Um, the other one,
I
and
thought
this
I
was the
saw.
one.
So I thought I saw Archangel briefly. I maybe it was just wrong colors, but when they were showing all of Genosha, I thought I saw the colors of Archangel flying, and I thought it was weird when I saw that because he would be chilling there because at that point Archangel would be of Apocalypse.
Yeah,
Yeah.
well, so
Uh,
I think so. I think it's Cassandra Nova, and the
okay.
reason I think it's Cassandra Nova is because Cassandra Nova is behind it in the comics,
Okay.
and um, she's going to be the villain in Deadpool.
Okay. That's
So
so
you know how they synergize these things.
yeah, yeah. That's
Uh,
Xavier's stepdaughter.
like no, it's like his, and I'll probably fuck it up. I'm sorry, but like Cassandra Nova is Xavier,
Mm.
but like his DNA, but female or something. I can't
Woke.
remember. No, she's like she's all fucked up looking. I think it was something to do like she was like a twin or something like that in the
Mm.
womb, or
Mm.
I can't remember.
Mm.
There's something, but she's basically evil Xavier.
Okay.
In the comics, she like fucking crushes his mind. But so the whole thing is, she gets this guy named Donald Trask,
Mm.
and immediately I know what you're thinking.
Mm.
I I would be interested to know if they pull that off, if they do that. But let's just flip over that for right now. So there's a guy named Donald Trask. If you know, because he is in, there's Bolivar Trask in the show.
Mm.
This is like his son.
Okay.
So she shows him a thing about all of the humans, Homo sapiens or whatever,
Mm.
slaughtering Neanderthal.
Right.
And then she's like, this is how it went down. This is what happens when a superior species comes in.
Mm.
They kill all the inferior ones.
Right.
And he's like, and then the guy's like, no. I saw a documentary. They're talking about they bred together.
Yeah, they bred together. Right. I'm pretty sure because
like,
of where you grew up, you might be like 1%.
hang on. So then she says, oh, you saw a documentary, right? Yeah, okay. So you know more than I do. I've been studying this my entire life. I'm a doctor.
Mm.
And then he's like, well, and then she's like, yeah, okay, this is how it went down. And then she goes. So then she says, so that's what's going to happen with the mutants.
Mm.
And then she takes him over to where the Wild Sentinel's sitting,
Mm-hmm.
and then she's like, it turns on like all these guns and everything and stuff, and it's gonna kill him. And then like he says something, and then like it's like verbal identity verified, Trask DNA, and then so that it just stands down.
Mm.
So he controls these things. So she's following him around, and then they're having a debate about is it ethical.
Mm-hmm.
And he's saying, well, like it depends on how it's viewed, because if you like it, ultimately it's going to be who comes out on top. And like, yeah, people will say it's bad, but is it really bad when you really think about how it's like they're going to eradicate us and we're just protecting ourselves from a threat? So there's this interesting philosophical debate,
Right.
but it's mostly her convincing him it's okay. But he's like, well, if I release one of these, it'll be fast, right? She'll be, oh, it'll be surgical. They will die instantly. And that's like, that's why like 16 million died, right?
Right. Interesting.
So while they're having this talk, all of a sudden, like her hands slip through him, and then she's like, oh no, I don't need you anymore. I know how to duplicate your voice now, and I've absorbed your DNA or some shit. Because she's all like fucked up looking. I can't remember why she can do this exactly, but she takes on his DNA, drops him dead, and then she controls the Sentinels, and then she tells it to go to Genosha.
Huh. That's awesome.
And then so she is the villain behind all of it. Oh, so here's my theory as to where it goes.
Okay.
We know, because I could be completely wrong on this, but this is what I think, because I was like, in the comics, Cassandra Nova basically copies Charles's DNA or some shit, becomes Charles, and then I can't remember exactly how, but he pieces out to the Shi'ar Empire, and Cassandra Nova crushes the Shi'ar Empire and become
oh shit,
and so the that's what I'm saying. So like that's where Charles is. So I think that's why it'll be Cassandra Nova, because I think Cassandra Nova will then attack Charles. Because remember, at the end of X-Men, he was taken into Shi'ar, and they've said he's going to be in the show. So how are the Shi'ar going to get involved? So this is going to result into some kind of war with Cassandra Nova taking over Charles to maybe attack the Shi'ar and rule over him as their new empress and all that.
Right.
Yeah, that's what I think is what's going to happen.
That's cool as fuck.
I'm pulling a lot of stuff from distant memories, so forgive me if I don't have it exactly right. But basically, sort of what happens in the comics, what changes, though, is that instead of it being like her just piecing out to go to the Shi'ar place and then like taking it over, it would be she goes to attack Charles there, because Charles is still on Earth in the comic.
Okay.
But he's there right now.
Okay.
So maybe even that wasn't Charles. Like, what if that was like her that went? I don't know. There's a lot of things it could be, but I think that's the direction they go.
I definitely think, I mean, going back, I think Mystique is the reporter.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember exactly, but someone pointed it out, and I was like, yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
I'll text it to you. If you guys know, someone watching, post in the comments, leave a comment, something, post, let us know.
Smash that like button.
Yeah,
comments.
No, I would be interested to know, because then I don't have to like look it up.
Shut up.
Because I have a lot there, but it doesn't always come out correctly.
Yeah. To is to human.
I know, but nerds are hardcore. They're like, and because I do it too.
Yeah. It's fine. Anyways, shut up and take my money 1,000%.
Oh yeah,
oh my freaking god! Stop what you're doing and watch this.
It formed the core memory for me.
Right.
But yeah, and also Magneto for president.
Magneto, the Magnus.
2024. I want to make the logo for him. I want to combine the Trump and one, and then put a picture of him, and then post that image on Twitter or something like take the Biden logo for 2024 and then take the Trump one, but combine them, but make it Magneto. Yeah. And then under it'll say, a promise was made.
Get on that.
I kind of did, but I just grabbed images and wrote it and then put the little flag. But yeah, I could do a full image. But anyway, so then we also had the Invincible finale.
Yes.
Go ahead.
Oh my god. So Omni-Man is essentially at full health. He's ready for execution. Alan finds himself on board. He's there to break out Omni-Man, I guess. Is that
at the end? Yeah.
So,
which follows the comic.
Okay.
And then he goes, I miss my wife. Yeah.
So you had mentioned
the interesting thing about that is because you talk about Omni-Man as a character. Omni-Man, it's like he didn't. Was that last week's episode, or I thought we had this conversation for some reason?
Did we? I don't know.
Yeah, but it's like crushing a vermin to him, you know?
Right.
But he now feels for the vermin. But so God, what happens in this episode? The big thing is what's his name shows up. Come on, brain. the guy with the big brain and everything like that.
Yeah.
Langstrom.
Angstrom. Yeah.
He shows up, and we had the chilling fight between. God, did this happen 2 weeks? Am I having some deja vu?
Yeah. The finale? Was there another episode? Because we
Yeah,
already
maybe not. Maybe we had this conversation. It was a
yeah,
good finale.
yeah. I mean, we can talk about it again.
I thought we didn't. Okay,
No,
I
yeah.
apologize.
So no,
I
yeah. So Angstrom,
rewatched it probably
okay,
because it was
so
so good.
to recap, Angstrom shows up and he has Mark's mom just held hostage, and the way he's handling this baby, it just grabbing by the leg, and you know he's pushing Mark to that breaking point, and Mark gets essentially teleported around to all these different universes. We saw the dinosaur universe, which is cool. We saw him talking to Batman, and there's a Spider-Man and all that. It was fantastic. But yeah, he murders the fuck out of Engstrom, and you see him sort of dealing with that. And I mean, it was great. It was worth bringing up again because we're not going to get more Invincible for another another
Oh,
year.
it was so good though. I mean, like I just I guess I rewatched it. I apologize, guys. Again, it all runs together.
No. But on that note, because this is sort of you had posted it, we can talk more about.
Oh yeah,
it
we
was
talked about Conquest. Yeah, so we were talking
the
about
Conquest fight. Now you had posted this thing years ago. I had watched it, and I remember watching it because I was walking my dog. I can tell you exactly.
Do you prefer the blue and black, or do you like the classic yellow Invincible suit?
He was wearing different colors. Okay.
Yeah. So what Cap's talking about was we were talking about it. We reviewed it again today. Invincible versus Conquest.
Yeah.
So this is spoilers for what's coming up ahead. Conquest shows up. So if you remember, they were talking about how
somebody was coming to.
Yeah. So if Nissa was like the nice one,
right?
She's not very nice, but she bounces out, and then Conquest shows up, and he's like, it's his job to just conquer since Mark's not doing it.
Right.
And so we get this brilliant fight. So yeah, we reviewed that. This is like a mini Behold Nerds. What did you think?
So Eve is in the hospital when all this is going down from something else. So it looks like this fight happens at a bad time. Mark had already done something prior.
Yeah, I don't want to ruin it for anybody.
Right. So
this is just a fight itself.
Yeah. So he's already having a bad day. So it looks like in the middle of this bad day, it got worse by this guy showing up. Probably at the worst time to show up because Mark is having a really bad day.
Something very, very bad.
Okay.
To the point where he's like, yeah, this is just like, I don't care if it's you. I'm going to kill you because all I want to do is hit something.
Right.
And yeah, it goes down. And so we saw Conquest briefly in the show. When they're talking about other Viltrumites, there's a brief image of him.
Yeah.
So he is coming. He's this big dude, white hair, white mustache.
Looks like you aged up with a robot arm.
With a robot. That sounds dope. I could, yeah.
Accept it.
He shows up and he starts beating the shit out of Mark.
Right.
And this isn't like a normal superhero battle. This is how I got into Invincible. I saw this fight, and I was like, I gotta read this. So yeah, like we see these two go up against each other, and it's bloody as all.
Right.
Eve's like, oh God, he's gonna kill Mark. Eve flies over in broken legs, and he just kills Eve.
You're right. Straight up. Just impale. No, it was a clock to the face and then an impale, and she was just down. But she can rebirth herself, right? She's got that.
He didn't know that. They didn't know.
Yeah.
I told you about that.
Right.
But I didn't know that at the time. I mean, we see it happen.
But these are fights where Conquest just does he take Mark and just fly him throughout the entire planet and just crash him through everything. That's sort of what I got. Just fly him into, I don't know, a warship, fly him into the mountain.
Yeah,
fly him
they're like, his like face is destroyed. Like,
yeah.
And then Mark basically, but because he's dead, he's like, he like gets like super pissed off, and we've seen this happen before, and he loses it.
Right.
And the thing is, Conquest is like, getting mad doesn't make you
You
stronger.
stronger, right?
Oh, ho, ho, ho. Except Mark holds back.
Right.
Like, and so yes, you're right. It doesn't technically, but that's the problem. That's
It holds a lot back.
because we see what happens when he doesn't.
Right.
And so then, I mean, but the thing is, some stuff does just stop him, like Anissa. So it's hard to like
Right.
gauge all that.
Yeah,
But that's why he's always holding back. So then he just unleashes on Conquest, and that's when the fight really gets started. And it's just this
slugfest, like, a brutal slugfest.
And they're destroying each other. It's a brilliant fight. I mean, Eve, we get to see Eve's rebirth for the first time. She comes back, like, glows, and she's healthy, and then she like shoots him with a big thing. He's like, "I'll kill you," and then like freaking Mark, and it ends with him just being like, "Boom!" It's just over and over and over and over and over and
right.
over and over. And he's like, "You're still having fun? Is this fun for you?"
Right.
And like,
Meanwhile, this is after his flesh has been like burned off by Eve, and he's used his robot arm. His
brains are like splattered in. It's just the craziest thing I've ever seen in comics.
Right.
And then he flies over to Eve, and he lays down next to her, and he's like, "I'm so glad you're alive." She's just, "Holy fuck!"
Right.
And then like, and she's just like, "I'm glad you're alive too." And then he's like, "Yeah." And they're just laying there, just like destroyed. And I was just like, "This is a brilliant comic. I have to read."
Nice.
So I'm really glad you watched it and you experienced it with me again. Thank you.
No, it was fantastic. So they put his face together, like back together after that, because his jaw's hanging off like a.
I know,
but
he's a Viltrumite. Like Rex talks about it. It's like, "Oh, you grow your teeth back."
Yeah,
too?
yeah.
Like, he's got a healing factor.
Yeah. So what was great was it's fighting dirty. Here's this guy who's just like, bro, bear hugging him, and Mike just bites a chunk out of his shoulder out, and Kong was like, get off me. Cat is being cat.
Let me get a toy.
No, when Mark goes to punch him, and Conquest grabs his hand and just breaks every bone, and it just, brutal. There, cat's doing cat things.
Nah, but yeah, I agree. Oh, it's amazing. It was a great fight. One of the best in comics. I mean, it's a spoil for what's coming ahead, but check out the comic. Someone's put the whole thing together on YouTube. But I mean, even more, like, support the comic. Just rent it or do a Comixology account. It's like $5. They have the entire Invincible comic on there.
Nice.
You can read the whole thing. Nice. Actually, but I will say this. The show's better.
All right.
I mean, so far, like the moment with Angstrom, it was stronger for me than the show was. Than the comic was. And they've been changing stuff up. Things happen at different times, but
overall, it's still.
Yeah, I guess I've been reading
consistent.
the comic. That's probably why I thought that's where we were. But anyway. It's also cool getting to see all the different marks and stuff like that. But,
okay. I'm sure that's going to be important later on down the line.
Yeah. We had the new Fallout show.
Yes. Okay. So I'm one episode in. You've probably.
I'm one episode into.
Okay.
I mean, I watched episode 2, but it was so good. I got halfway through it, and I was like, "Damn it! I'm reinstalling the game."
Right.
And then I got like stuck in the building mode for like way too many hours last night, and I barely played the game, but I built a house, and and I'm like done, and I finished, and I was like, I kind of hate it. And now that I understand how the builder works, I'm going to build it again.
Right.
And and that's how I am with these games. So it's almost the detriment to the game to me. Like I just spend hours building,
but it's fun.
It is. Admittedly, it is. Anyway,
no.
Yeah, so the show is just amazing, though. That female character, I don't know the actress's name, but she is phenomenal.
She's great.
Every scene she's in, I can't take my eyes off her. she's not only that, but it's like sad and tragic, but she's also kind of funny and
Yeah,
like
there's a quirky perkiness, like
she captures the show good. I mean the feel
the
of
vibe of the universe a little bit.
yeah, the universe, yeah. And it's just the best thing I've seen. And this is coming from someone that like I don't think I fully appreciated the games until I saw that first episode. That's why I had to reinstall it.
It the show does a good job at better explaining the universe from its origin, if that makes sense. Like you see, or at least more from the vault standpoint, because you never really get to see inside the vault and like the way of life inside the vaults. At least not that I've seen from any of the games
You
that
do
I've
because
played.
remember in the one you start as a baby and like I think it was the one before Fallout 4. You start as a baby and like you grow up in your life. You have a birthday party in the vault and stuff like that.
God, I
Yeah,
don't
it's
remember that.
Fallout 3.
Yeah, God, I played Fallout 3. I don't remember that.
Yeah, that's how you
I played
start the game.
I
Like
played the
because it
fuck out
gives
of
you
Fallout 3 too.
you get like you're reading your baby book and that's how
Yeah,
you choose
yeah.
your attributes. And then you have a birthday party and there's like some dick at your party. He's like, oh, thanks for inviting me to a party. He's like steals your cake or something. Then you can like, do you want to tell on him? And like it.
Yeah, I
And
don't
then,
remember. I played the shit out of that game. I don't remember that.
and then, well, I guess it's
Yeah.
because here's the problem with me and Fallout. This is why I struggle playing it because I like play some of it and I hate my build and then I have to go all the way back and then change it and I can't.
You can't
Like
be
why
happy.
D&D works for me is I have character builders and shit. You know what I mean? And I can just read all it and I can plan.
Right.
But yeah. Anyway, the show's amazing.
Yeah.
Shut up and take my money.
So great characters. So we're introduced to what's her name, Judy.
I think so.
Judy, Maximus, and the Ghoul.
Oh yeah, we had the other characters.
Yeah.
Too, yeah. It's just she was so good, and like they attack, and then like she okie dokie, and then they have sex. But then the moment she like started changing, like wipes his dick on the
on the.
But she was just like, whatever.
Yeah, whatever.
So that would have pissed me off so much. Like, I mean, I'm not like I wouldn't do that. Like,
I wouldn't.
That's what I mean. I'm so disgusted that someone would do that to drapes.
Right.
Like, you don't clean drapes very often. Like,
Right. Ugh.
What an asshole. But I get it. He's like, I'm not going to be here any longer.
Well, I mean, they're sort of like feral in and of themselves, right? I mean, so I didn't realize it at first when they were all eating together and the one stabs a dude's plate and they look kind of gross looking, like they looked unkempt, and I saw that, like, that's kind of weird. It didn't connect at the time.
I saw through it as soon as the other thing came over and they opened the vault. I was like, oh, it's not a vault, it's Raiders.
Yeah.
As soon as it happened, I was like, oh, this is where it's going, but I didn't care.
Plus, none of them had Pip-Boys either, so
yeah, I didn't notice
that should have been a tell.
I
liked how we got to see like the practical use of the Pip-Boy, and we saw the one dude playing a little game on the Pip-Boy that you can play on the Pip-Boy. That's cool. We got that really brutal fight between the one chick and her husband. God damn, that was hard to watch. It was a good fight though. It was, but anyway.
No, she's dope. She's a dope character. The other characters that were introduced, the Ghoul, and then we got to see the storyline with. See, I think I watched maybe a little bit more than you because how much of the Brotherhood of Steel did you see?
So so just finished watching the first episode. So it went through the.
I know. So I don't. That's what I'm asking. Where are you at, Brotherhood of Steel wise?
Brotherhood of Steel. He just got accepted. He just got knighted.
Okay, not knighted. He's a squire.
Or sorry, he's a squire.
Okay, so you watched the story where they're like boot and everything.
Yeah.
You think he did it, or I think it's that guy that always plays the dick with the little mustache.
Yeah, no, it wasn't him, but I do like the scene where he's being interrogated because we get to see the power armor in Fallout, and though we didn't see them in like combat action, we got to see just how menacing they are, and they really pulled it off in this one scene where he's being interrogated.
Next episode, we get a lot of power armor stuff.
Okay, I mean, I was fine seeing the power armor without it just coming out the gate. Like it's fine. Just how they use just the physicality of this thing in this interrogation scene was just awesome, and you could hear just how it moved. Just that kind of steampunky, just clanky, just it sounded cool. It sounded clunky. It sounded big, and they were using it to scare the crap out of this guy. It was a great scene. Loved it. So,
I should just mention real briefly in case like some cat. There's nothing wrong with my cat. Some cats hiss when you play with them at the toy. I looked it up and I've even asked vets about it, and they're like, "Yeah, no, that's normal. That's just what some cats do."
Cats are just dicks that way. Yeah.
Well, no, it's not their dicks. It's like it triggers like something in them. I don't know. The vet explained it to me, and I googled it and I found the same thing. It's just like some cats like. He also chatters. If what do you call it? One of those laser pointers.
Mm-hmm.
And if you move it around, he goes. He like makes this like chatter noise. Like that's something cats do. He makes a lot of weird noises.
Cats make weird noises.
Yeah.
Anyway, shut up and take my money.
Shut up and take my money. Yeah. So yeah, let's keep. Yeah, fuck, we're running so behind. We'll do wrestling isn't wrestling, and then we'll finish Battle Nerds.
Oh, want to push Battle Nerds to next week because wrestling versus wrestling that's so great. I don't want to rush this. It was great.
I knew you'd love it. I've been trying to get people to watch that for years because it is just that good. I see that's the thing with Max Landis. I've seen his movies, and his movies aren't as good as just him just being like, so here's this movie I want, or here's this story, or let me talk about a story.
Right.
Like, and that's not, I guess your movies are good. I didn't appreciate it at the time, but I've gone back and watched it in like it's the program. It's got the one guy, Jesse Eisenberg, and he was like it's kind of like Born Identity. Did you see that movie?
No.
It's ultra something, but what's interesting is it's based on like actual declassified things from like the government.
Oh,
shit. This actually happened.
Oh, no.
Obviously, this is a fictional account of it. They didn't actually get like superpowers and shit, but they might have.
What's the premise?
Oh God, it's that's the premise. It's like it's about one of these guys, and he's got a girlfriend. It's played by that Eisenberg guy, and then he gets activated, like Born Ultimatum style.
Okay.
And then and he used to be in this program, and then if you Google it, that was a real program.
Wow.
And they were like chemically controlled, mind controlled people and stuff like that, and you could like activate them or something. I don't know, something like that. But then, so it's a story about that, but a fictional version of it.
Right. Like inspired by true events. Yes.
Yeah. But like very loosely inspired.
Right.
But allegedly. At first I didn't really like it, but since I've like come to appreciate Max Landis' storytelling more, I can appreciate the movie more. Anyway, we'll watch it sometime. Why
not? Can we stop and just talk about something really quick? Oh, no, never mind. I'll leave it for later. Let's stay on topic.
So wrestling isn't wrestling. I've been trying to get you to watch this for a while because I love it. When I first found it, I was like, damn, this is good. So you finally saw it. What did you think?
Okay, so from being exposed to this for the first time, what is wrestling versus wrestling? This is Max Landis addressing to the naysayers who attack those for liking wrestling with the, well, it's, why do you watch it if it's all fake? Which, I'll be honest, I admit to saying that, and I used to watch wrestling religiously when I was younger, and then when I found out it was fake, my brain just sort of turned off, and it just didn't care anymore. But
as he points out, it's like there's wizards and shit.
Right, but right, and you know, having it explained like that, it's like, okay, so. For starter, this movie is woke because all the male characters are depicted by attractive women. So let's start right there.
No. Seriously, I do not want to touch on that specifically because this is Max Landis, and I just don't want that brought into the conversation. Please.
Okay. Facetiously,
but focus on the art and not the artist.
Right.
And not anything against him. I don't want to know about that situation, and I don't want to discuss it.
Yeah, totally being facetious, but
no, I know, but like, there's a lot of issue behind this as a topic. So yeah. But anyway, let's look at the story.
Anyway, we follow the story of Triple H throughout the years and his plot to take over. No, not to take over, but maintain his championship over the WWE. That was cool. And whenever it got absurd, they had the audience characters react, which, you know, if you have, my daughter's been to wrestling, so she's been one of those fans in the crowd screaming. It's, you know what it is? It's a novella. And that's...
Well, no, it's a documentary about Triple H, and it's making the point that wrestling is not supposed to be real.
Right.
It's a weekly story.
It's a weekly novella that follows wizards and
a long running story.
Right.
About characters. That's really a show that's about a wrestling thing that's not real.
Right.
It's kind of like playing the video games. You know what I mean?
Right.
You said that it's not real. You're just pretending.
Right.
And that's the fun part. And it can tell really compelling stories. And so he tells the compelling story of Triple H.
Right.
The framing device in which he does it is him sitting there drinking a beer, addressing the camera, and then he's got very pretty girls, and they're all doing the parts, and they are acting.
They're
shit
so
out
funny,
movie.
So goddamn, and it's all his voice
funny.
too. It's all his voice.
Yeah. and the music, and just like I'm Frosty, and like they're walking away sad,
right.
And like when they go cross, actually, like, this seems like he's like, I like snakes, and she's like, oh, this seems like someone I can trust, and
right.
like the way they mime to his voice and stuff like
right.
that, it's done just so entertainingly.
Right.
This is one of the best things I've ever seen. And it almost doesn't even matter if you like wrestling or not. You will enjoy this.
Right. Well, it has nothing to do with wrestling. It's the story of Triple H.
Yeah. I mean, it's the story of wrestling and Triple H as a character. And it's fascinating.
Right.
Told through this lens. I mean, what was some of your favorite parts?
It's, you know, it's Michael Pena explaining how he should explain the MCU to novices. Like, it's he's doing that, but with 20 years of WWE lore with Mankind. My favorite.
Oh, and then also the fun thing is he's got a lot of his celebrity fans.
Oh, yeah. So
engaging.
Yeah.
So there's just cameos.
Macaulay Culkin for some reason was there.
Yeah, like Seth Green.
Seth Green was there.
Mythbusters.
Yeah.
Well,
they open it with, well, you know it's fake, right?
Yeah, you're watching the movie and it's just like ooh, which is just so much fun.
Right. The best part was when he sort of broke the fourth wall in the narrative and said, "Well, wait, he kidnapped, you know, this and did all this, and, you know, he didn't face any repercussions. Well, it's okay, folks. It's all fake." Like, like. Right there, it's like, I see what you did. Like that's funny. It was well done.
Yeah, I mean, and I like the part where he's talking about like John Cena, and he's like, everybody hates him.
He's like Superman.
Everybody hates Superman. Or like when my favorite part of the whole thing. Titty dick suck a vagina, yo. And they're like, you think say that? And they're like, two titties like dick suck t-shirt. And I was dying. I love that as a catchphrase. And then it was like poopy caca fart later.
Boogers. So I loved when they talked about, because even though my love for wrestling fell out 30 years ago, I've always loved The Undertaker. My God, he's a cool fucking character. You want to see a dude that can just like who carries a presence. Yo, so Kane
used to be a dentist before they were just like, hey, let's rebrand him as this crazy demon guy. Like, that was his character, was a dentist.
That's awesome. So, but again, it's how they. Also, here's this, you know, cult wizard who summons undead. He was born because 3 people were sacrificed and blah, 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 blah. It's okay. It's not real, guys. It's all fake. but then he just keeps explaining the story and mythos. Like, yeah, of course it's fake.
It's great. But and some of they just nail. That's what I'm saying. The actresses that you hire for the part,
Right.
like they just the way they
The way they pantomime through it is
it's so great. And then like the Undertaker's like and the Undertaker's like, stop acting like you won, you didn't. He's like, but I kind of did, sort of. No, you didn't. And he's like, yeah, but I sort of did. I got it.
It's a good hit.
It's so good.
It's so good.
Man. Like her coming to John Cena. John Cena, you suck. And it's like,
like, throw tomatoes, boo.
Throw the sledgehammer.
So I had
Stephanie McMahon. Yeah, it turns out the whole time I've been super evil too.
So this makes me want to rewatch the South Park episode where they talk about wrestling with the guy. That ain't wrestling. This is wrestling. But the boys are putting on this entertaining melodrama that everybody's just attracted to. It just is so enamored by. And it's just them showing up and just talking shit on each other. That ain't wrestling. This is wrestling.
Yeah, the wrestling's dark. There's a video game that you can play that's about wrestling, and like it tells like dark stories. And it's like the most realistic thing because it's like guys who like their job is to lose and like they live paycheck to paycheck, and then eventually they die young because they had to pay for their own health insurance because you don't get supported in that sport. And like it's fine if you're a big name, but for all those people, like that's their entire thing is just trying to like make it week to week. Right. And they usually die. Like and as you play the game, that shit happens. Like you can't stop pissing yourself and stuff like that.
Oh shit.
Yeah, and then but you can't retire because you need to take like 10 weeks off. But if you take 10 weeks off, you run out of money and die. And well, not die, but you don't have any money.
Yeah, you don't have money.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like
it's a dark game.
It's like when South Park had the EA Tiger Woods game, and it was just his ex-wife beating him with a club for cheating.
Anyway, but yeah, so this is a great 25-minute YouTube video that goes through the history of wrestling, why you love wrestling.
Just one character.
Yeah, but I mean, you're introduced to other characters. Yeah. It's so funny. Then David Batista like throws you through the moon, and you die, and it's great because you can see like all of these ones happen like throughout them and stuff like that. Like, as he mentions all of them,
right?
And then it's also fun seeing who plays people oh god, the girl who plays the Ultimate Warrior is also the 18 or the what I forget. She's the girl. What's her name?
China.
No, the Van Trip lady, but yeah, she plays her, the Ultimate Warrior. But yeah, then China's in it and stuff like that. Yeah, it's so funny. I feel like a dick for forgetting it. She has a hard to say name, Alana Weinrup or whatever.
I'm awful with names.
But anyway, shut up and take my money. I like a lot of his stuff. He just sits down and talks about stories and stuff. If you American Ultra, that's what it's called. That's what the movie's
called. Okay. Yeah, I've heard of that. All right, never saw it.
Yeah, if you see when he's like walking out and they're doing he puts his arms around, like he's wearing a shirt that says "Watch" and it lists all the movies he's made.
Yeah, product. He's just plugging himself.
Yeah, well, great. Why not? I mean,
yeah, why not? It's like
it's his YouTube channel. He can do what he wants.
Yeah, good for. It's a shut up and take my money. I think it's my turn, right?
It is your turn.
Yeah. Or on the topic of documentaries, this is
we were just talking at the beginning. We were like, should we just watch Rebel Moon because that's coming out next?
Yeah. So
I mean, you want to take your turn after Rebel Moon?
Yeah. Let's do that because I was going to continue on with the documentary thing. One that I
Okay.
mentioned forever ago, but it's worth watching. I've watched it a few times, but
Yeah,
it's
we'll pick up with your turn next week. We'll just do Rebel Moon this week because it's topical.
Rebel Moon Part 2, but really maybe 3/4 of a movie until the full version comes out. Maybe a third of a movie, but that's okay because next year the full movie will come out. So we'll be reviewing the first third of Part 2 of Rebel Moon,
Uh,
filmed in mind-blowing slow motion. Yes.
maybe. I
Yep.
mean, we'll see where this one lands. I mean, I didn't like the first one. I mean, I didn't. It's one of those ones where I could watch it and appreciate some really mind blowing like scenes. Like I said, I've often said, you can watch it just for the visuals. It's gorgeous. And like her fucking, with the flag and it's fantasy art brought to life.
Yeah.
But it lacked other things like character development and
The rest of the movie.
but no, there was stuff there, but yeah,
Right.
it just I mean, I just think people for like okay, so like people are more forgiving, and specifically you because I know you. You forgive everything for compelling story, and that's a normal thing.
Right.
I can go. It's best when it's both, but
Right.
I can forgive not having a good story
Mm.
if the visuals are that phenomenal.
Right.
And that's the thing. I can go both ways. I think you lean more one way.
Get that soundbite, folks.
You get what I'm saying, though?
No, I get it, and that's just how the two of our brains work. Is that I'm learning to appreciate things better visually and turn my brain off to everything else. But at the end of the day, my brain wants more story substance.
No, I get it.
And that's just how my brain. But I mean, yeah, I.
But it's kind of like if I go to a museum,
Mm.
like here's a Snyder film to me, like Rebel Moon.
Mm.
It's like going to a fantasy art museum. You gotta like ignore his story, or just you gotta make up the story yourself.
Okay.
It's like seeing a picture of like this badass warrior slicing open a giant fucking whatever that thing she sliced open was, and then they tell you a little bit about the character, and what you see is awesome. But we have no time to tell you anything else about that character because we're going to move on to another thing.
Right.
So I just go, okay, that's interesting. Let's take a look at the next character. I haven't played their game yet. You know what I'm saying? This is a bunch of intros.
Right.
But sometimes I don't mind just listening to intros. I guess that's what I'm saying.
No, I get it. It's just, we could have had the whole movie. Like we talked about this. Zack Snyder's.
There is a whole movie though. Like hopefully there is. But if the 4-hour version is just more visuals, I think that'll overpower most viewers. But we'll find out. But I'm looking forward to Rebel Moon 2. I'll watch it, even if it is just, hey, let me watch cool shit happen for 2 hours.
I guess there's mind altering substances that one can participate in to make the viewing experience that much more pleasurable.
Like G.I. Joe Retaliation, right?
Yeah.
G.I. Joe 1, I maintain to this day. Have you seen that movie, by the way? Because I got to add it if you haven't.
The first one?
Yeah.
Where
they got the suits and they're like running down the street and stuff like that.
Actually, no, I haven't seen it all the way through.
Oh God, we are watching that 1000%. And we're watching both of them because we have to now.
All right.
But G.I. Joe 1 is phenomenal and it never got any love. You have to watch it through this lens. It is you dumping out your G.I. Joes and be like, pew, 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 pew. And in the end is this giant sub fight with people like little sub,
right.
It's the dopest thing ever. Super fun. The Eiffel Tower falls down. It's crazy. G.I. Joe Retaliation is like
I've seen that one, and that's where they killed off everybody in the first one.
Yeah, but they also make it like, how did you even do that? Because
they made it seem like all of GI Joe was just that little group of people.
Right.
In the first movie, they make it like it's this giant base, giant infrastructures,
right?
And all of a sudden, it got whittled down, and then they kill everybody off in the beginning. The movie sucked, but I forgive that entire movie purely because holy fuck, it's got the dopest ninja scene, like one of the dopest ninja scenes of all time in cinema. And if you can at least do that, you've won me over. Though the rest of the time I was like, but that ninja scene, holy fuck.
Oh, on that note, confirm the next Transformers movie we get is going to cross over with G.I. Joe. They set that up in was it Beast Wars, but they've actually come out and officially said yes. The next one is going.
God, that movie. When they went like, oh no, he's got it as a suit, and then G.I. Joe. I feel if you were in the room with me, you would have felt my eye roll. You know what I mean? Like
just palpable cringe.
Like, boom. Like it would have been, whoa, you okay, man? Like,
yeah.
It was a hard groan for me. Like, and I try and be open-minded, but it was. If it's more of what I got and they were trying to anyway, we're pretty much well, we got 2 minutes left. Oh, by the way, I just bought the novel Darth Plagueis. Is that how you say his name?
Plagueis, yes.
Plagueis. You're supposed to read it too, by the way. We promised Superkillers we would. So I just bought it.
All right.
I'm going to read it.
I think fellow nerd Adrian has definitely read it.
Yeah. Well, I'm reading it now. Well, I think it actually will arrive today. But so I'm going to read it. You should read it. Oh, also speaking of pickups. I've read these before digitally, but not to upset people. I think Stan Lee said this, like, comics are like boobs, better to be held than looked at on the screen. So I read the digital version.
Wow. Wise words.
Yeah. I picked up the paperback of Huntress and Power Girl.
Nice.
One of my favorite cover arts of all time. I just love her.
Huntress looks badass in that.
Yeah, and then Power Girl looks so cool. So this is World's Finest. Normally it's Batman and Superman. I just like this one better somehow, and I'm so happy to have the paper version.
Nice.
The one part, if I could see if I can find it, I was like, I gotta post something on this. I think it's at the beginning. Yeah. So you have Damien versus Huntress.
Nice.
But it's Huntress from Earth 2, so it's also Batman's
daughter.
So they're kind of like
siblings.
Sort of half brothers, but not from different,
like multiversal.
And he can see it because he's like, you were trained by Batman, weren't you? And he's like wailing on her. And then she's like, and he's like, but also Catwoman moves and blah, blah. And like, and
he's able to reduce it or deduce it to.
Yeah. And she's fighting him and she's like, yeah, he's trained by Batman, but there's something wrong.
Right.
He's fighting lethally. And like, so they're like breaking down each other's fight set. And then Power Girl sees this happening. So she like gets in a uniform, flies over there. And then we have Power Girl versus Damien, which goes about how you imagine it to.
Just that's exactly what I pictured in my head. Just thump through a wall.
She didn't kill him. She just booted him in the butt, and he grabs his butt.
With great power comes great responsibility.
Yeah, so that's good.
You know, that's funny because Damien's the type of character where he just needs a swift slap on the butt from time to time. Hey, knock it off, you craphead.
Yeah,
so
well, he's pissed off because he catches Huntress stealing money from Wayne. And then she's like, no, I only stole like $1 billion or something. And that was a long time ago. I'm just coming in for my next million or something.
Right.
And then like, he's like, no, someone's been taking a lot of money. And then she's like, oh.
and like she's like, no, that wasn't me, and so like that's where their fight happens. But so we find out someone's taking money from the Waynes.
Mm.
I don't know why she's taking money because Power Girl is a billionaire tech person herself. Like that's like her best friend. Couldn't you just get money from her? I don't know. I guess Huntress is all about stealing because she's got Catwoman mom in her.
Yeah,
but
it checks out.
Yeah, it's such a good combo. It's so good, so good, so good. And even they were Damien was wailing on Huntress. Like they were going toe to toe, of course, but like he was like, yeah, because
he fights like, lethal.
Yeah, and she was like, I don't want to kill him and stuff like that.
Right.
But yeah, like she like catches his fist, and he spins around and catches her with an elbow and stuff. Like that's what I like World's Finest, because you get like both the like crazy Superman, and then you get the like the Batman, you know. And it's just a perfect balance.
Nice.
Anyway, I know we're running long.
No, we're good. No, shows like this are perfect. Shows like this. We didn't get around to Battle Nerds. I suppose we can put that off for next week.
Oh, you said move it next week. So
yeah, let's
pick it up next week. So, but I will announce the winner of last week's Battle Nerds. We'll save rolling for next week.
Yeah.
But last week we pitted Zatanna against Power Girl. Cap's argument was that Power Girl would basically speed blitz her. I just kept arguing that Zatanna was more powerful. One of our followers on Twitter, I'll see if I can find his handle. He was very confident that I've had a lot of conversations since. But he was confident that she won. That Zatanna could win because she could just say Kryptonite blood.
Yeah.
And then that would be over. And then I pointed out, you said she could speed blitz. And so a lot of people had opinions on this one. I think it was Kevin Connor at K Connor Writer. But yeah, it was a lot of fun. But you guys voted. Zatanna wins. So Power Girl, I'm really bummed to see go, because if you know me, she's my favorite comic book character, and I never got to get her. So she did well though.
How would you have Power Girl beat Zatanna?
Well, I mean, that's the fun thing people always forget, because people argue these things left and right, and that's what we're doing for fun.
Right.
But ultimately, comics are narratively driven. So if I could go however you want. And I mean, that's why, like, when people are like, oh, I can't believe even Zatanna couldn't beat Dr. Manhattan, it's like you could make an argument for her winning.
Right.
It depends on it.
It's the writer in the story.
Yeah, it's the writers controlling it, so he's going Dr. Manhattan.
Right.
And I think a lot of our fights are debated based on story.
Right.
So yeah, I agree that
on paper, Zatanna, absolutely. Yeah, she's a powerhouse.
She is ripping through this list.
Yeah, she's sort of out of nowhere too, because we've been rolling her more and more now that the list is getting smaller, and she just sort of is punching her way to the top.
Oh yeah, she's in second place now. She's in second place with Cap and the Terminator T-800.
Yep.
So yeah.
Next week we have Darth Vader versus.
Yeah, I got Vader. You've got. You got Dread.
Oh yeah.
So we already kind of briefly discussed it. I mean,
right.
Like, I don't know. Do you want to just run like 10 minutes long and we'll just do it right now?
I mean, let's wait till next week. I desperately need to pee.
Okay.
I desperately need to pee.
Okay.
No, we can pick it up for next week.
All right.
God, that's gonna be a cool fight.
It's gonna be fun. So tune in next week for that fight. Sorry we didn't get time to it. We don't always. There was a lot to discuss, especially I think X-Men '97 deserved its time in the spotlight, because that was
it was just.
And also,
so
I think
savory.
we both really enjoyed wrestling. If you haven't seen Wrestling Isn't Wrestling yet, highly recommend it.
Yes, and then tune in next week. We're going to be discussing part 2 and a third of Rebel Moon. Battle Nerds. When do you want to shoot for 2 weeks for alien pitches? How much more time do you need?
I'm just starting a new D&D campaign, so I got to read through it.
All right.
It's kind of cool. It's called Humblewood. it's like you play like like a little fox person and
Okay.
or like a little mouse and and yeah, it's neat.
Okay.
I'm really excited to DM it, but I gotta read. It's an entire campaign setting I gotta learn.
Oh shit.
So, let's push it back 3 weeks.
All right.
So we'll do 3 weeks. We'll do pitches for our Alien movie because I also want to watch Aliens before I do it, just to revisit it. Oh, there is some cool stuff about Alien coming out. Yeah.
Yeah.
So that'll be coming up, and we'll probably keep talking about Fallout because I know they dropped it as a binge, but I mean, I didn't binge it, so
Haven't binged it yet. Hoping to get some more episodes in today once we go off air and after I violently whiz.
all right.
Anyways, for everybody who watched and all of our supporters, thanks for watching. For those of you who will tune in at a later time, how do you do? Like, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff to help out with the algorithms. Mr. Frosty likes to send us away with a nerdy quote. Send us away.
A child of Krypton, spirited away from a dying world, only to find a home on Earth, and a place in that world, a purpose, an identity, a cousin to the world's greatest protector, a Supergirl to his Superman. But this world would be lost to another kind of crisis, and I would be spirited away again.
Good night, everybody.